Good afternoon. I don't know what the title of this video is going to be, but I have something to share that I wanted to share between you and me that I think is one of the more interesting observations that I've made in the past, I don't know, couple weeks, maybe months. Let me set the context first because it's important. I am here in Harrisonburg with family. We just had some extended family arrive yesterday. And they're here for July 4th holiday and weekend. And they got here yesterday afternoon, and they have a newborn 3-month-old baby. So we went out last night and this morning. It's been, playing with the baby and holding her and changing her, feeding her, all of that fun stuff. Like, the baby has been like the center of life. And we went out to brunch today, and I noticed this feeling or this thought. I think when I got back or something, it was like the past like 24 hours has been kind of craziness. New people coming in and getting settled, and the baby, and hanging out and chatting and whatever. And I think it was this morning we went out to lunch, and I don't know if I've set the scene well enough, but I noticed this feeling that was like, I don't, what is it? It's like I don't feel like I feel like I've lost myself. And let me explain. I'll make some generalizations, but I think they will help. We went out to dinner last night and brunch this morning, and I would characterize myself as not the like extroverted in the group. I'm like, let's go. Where are we going here? Let's go to brunch here. Like, I'm not the planner. I'm not the source of energy in a group environment, at least not typically. And I feel as though going out to dinner and going out to brunch, I feel like I've been like riding along, like tagging along with the group. And that has been an interesting situation. I'm trying my best to describe this feeling. And as I was just doing dishes, I was thinking about this. I feel like I've lost myself. Like, what does that even mean? I think the combination of, and I also I want to preface this with, I don't want to label this as bad or good. That it's nothing, like, the fact that I'm saying this is not inherently bad. Doesn't say anything about the people that I'm with. Doesn't say anything about like the group or the dynamics or how I'm. It's just like this observation that it's a change, a changing of the tide, like a different. It's like a different feeling, and it's like wait, what is this? And that is what I'm trying to explore with you right now. I think some combination of being in the backseat, being around other people with more energy, who like to make a broad generalization, it's like extroverted people, they just like radiate energy in groups, you know? And I would characterize myself as leaning more towards the introverted side of the spectrum, which is, again, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with this, but it's just the dynamics of this situation. And it's the combination of being in the back seat. You know, there have been a couple moments like this morning when we were looking for a brunch place, and it was like, okay, problem solving brain. What's open July 4th? Is anything open? Is this place open? Can we get brunch? Like, let's find a place. You know, we need to find a place. We need to fit, 6 people, 7 people. We have a problem to solve. And then, my brain is like focused on solving the problem. Okay, where can we go? Let's go here. Maybe we'll go early. We'll figure out, we'll find a place so we don't have to bring the whole group. What if we come back? And we got it done. We got it done. Some combination of that with, it's like being outwardly focused. This problem needs to be solved. Holding the baby, chatting with the others, catching up, and lost myself. I think as I was doing so, I guess that's like the. I hope I've conveyed the feeling, hopefully, well enough. Maybe I haven't. But I wanted to say, so that it's like the feeling is like, I feel like I haven't been myself. Like what am I? Like, what are you? And I was thinking about that. As I was doing dishes, I was like, why do I feel this way? I think it's like I haven't been in my own head. And I was like, I haven't really thought about myself. And not in the like, oh, how am I looking? Or like, how do I feel? Or like, thoughts. It's as if the thoughts that I've had have been not about me. Where are we going for brunch? How's this new baby? Like, what is this? How do I hold her? What's the dynamic in this group? Responding to the energy that other people put out. And I haven't felt like I've been able to make my own decisions. And so as I was doing dishes, I was like, well, okay, so like, yeah, I haven't really made my own decisions. I haven't really thought for myself. I haven't been the one to be like, okay, hey, as a group, let's go to brunch here, or let's plan this. That hasn't been me. And so it's like, what does it mean to be myself? Like, what are you? I think as I was describing the kind of change, the reason that this has come up, the changing of the tides, the observation, I think it's because I've spent a lot of time in the past, well, years, trying to figure out my own, how I work. listening to my own thoughts and listening to my own feelings, and okay, I need to figure this out, and where am I going, and what am I doing next, and what do I feel like doing, and how am I feeling? Am I pushing too hard? Am I, should I be pushing more? How do I how do I start reading? All of these things about me. And so I was thinking, who am I? Who is Peter? Is Peter the person who he is when he's by himself? Because naturally you would think you are who you are by yourself. That makes sense. It's like, okay, you are the person that you are by yourself. But we're humans, we're social creatures. So we don't spend all of our time by ourselves. But and maybe you know what I'm talking about. Like, are you yourself when you're with other people? And I think this is the observation that I'm making. It's like, I'm not fully my, but what does myself mean? I'm not the person that I am when I'm by myself, when I'm with other people. Does that make sense? I think it's because I've made a couple decisions. Yes, I've made a couple decisions that I would not have made if I were by myself. There's another indication. We stayed up late. Oh, this was the other thing I wanted to share. We stayed up later, hanging out. It was 9 o'clock. We were like, all right, let's hang out. Open a bottle of wine. I didn't have any last night. But we were hanging out, watching some videos, just chilling, talking, and it got to be like 10:30 or something, and I was like, all right, I'm finally tapping out. Like, I want to go to sleep. And I went to bed at like 11:30, and it was funny because I have my Whoop vibrates. I have my alarm set at 6:45, and I kind of woke up. And it was kind of light out, and I got to out of the like REM sleep and into the light sleep at like the end of your sleep cycle. For me, this is at like around like 9 hours ish, plus or minus. End of my sleep cycle. I'm sitting there in bed. I'm like light sleep conscious, but eyes are still closed. Haven't looked up. Open my eyes yet. And I'm like, my alarm's probably going to go off in like 30 seconds, And then I started to think, like, I wonder if I slept through my alarm. I hear some like rustling outside, some people chatting. I hear like the espresso machine or whatever. And I'm like, I bet you I slept through my watch vibration alarm. And sure enough, I wake up, or I finally wake up. I'm like, I should check. And I look at the time, and it's 8:45 a.m. And I'm like, oh my god, my alarm's set for 6:45. I just like not even like you wake up, you hit the snooze, and then you go back. It was like nothing. I just completely slept through it. And later I checked my Whoop to look at my sleep. It tells me I need 8 hours and 3 minutes of sleep, like actual sleep time. That's subtracting time in bed but awake. And the amount of sleep I got was 8 hours and 13 minutes. And I was like, there's no way that this is a coincidence that my body slept. It's. I thought I was going to wake up at 6:45 because I've been consistently waking up at 6:45. But it was as if my body was like, we're getting 100% sleep. 100% sleep. Like, I know what I need. 100% sleep. 9 hours, whatever it is. 8 hours plus an hour awake. And it was like 8:45, You wake up, I'm good. 100% sleep, you're good. I know exactly, I needed 8 hours and 3 minutes. I got 8 hours and 13 minutes. Like, we're good. This is perfect. I was like, there's no way this is a coincidence. So, anyway, I went to bed later than I have in many weeks. And I was like, it's okay. It's okay. I'm with family. This is a different experience. Like, the objectives of life are different. Right now, it's like the goal is just to be with family, experience, in the social experience of life. I don't need to be, rigid, like, oh, I need, it's 8:30, like, I gotta go to bed. Like, sorry, guys, everybody else is hanging out, playing board games in the living room, and, like, Peter's asleep. Like, no. The objectives are different right now. And so that was something that I would have done differently had I been by myself. And when I went to brunch, or when we went to brunch, I ordered a poutine, like fried potatoes with sausage gravy on top. And I was like, I normally wouldn't order this, but it had been recommended. So I was like, sure, why not? It'll be fine. Like, like, the objectives are different. And so something about, this question of, like, who are you? Are you just yourself? Is you the same as yourself? Are the two the same? You and yourself when you're alone. And I was like, I don't think that's accurate. I think you are you when you're alone, but you're also you when you're with other people. Like, that's also you. You are the combination of both. Are you only you when you're with your friends? When you're playing video games with the boys, or like when it's a girls trip, or like when it's the bachelorette party, like, is that you? I think you're the combination of all of those. And so it's like, I'm forming a new image of myself. Because it's like, I just had the thought that it was like, maybe this is me. But this is me when I'm not myself, but this is also me. Or is this not me? And that's what I've been thinking about. And it felt like when I got out here to do dishes, it was like the first time that I actually had time to think. I feel like my brain has been switched off because I've been either with family, with the baby, eating brunch, listening to the other conversations. It wasn't that I wasn't talking at all, but I wouldn't say I was talking a majority of the time. And I finally got out here and I was like, wow, it's like, I feel like I haven't thought in the past 24 hours. Like, how are you? How am I feeling? What is, like, how are you? I haven't seen you in 24 hours. So I hope that's an accurate capture of the feeling that I was feeling and the thought that I wanted to explore. I don't have any answers. It was just an observation that I wanted to make. And I don't know. I think there's a. Sorry, I'm very sweaty. It is 93.9 degrees in here. Um, I think there's. I made a video about this. I made a video that was like, how do you balance the line between boundaries and flexibility? It was like a week ago. And I think on a similar topic, I think I'm experiencing what I was envisioning, the situation that I was envisioning. I guess the question I'm pondering is, maybe this is a different topic. Like, how much. Okay, hold on. Let's let's take this as like, this is me when I'm by myself, and this is it's not really this. It's like, how much of this do I keep when I'm with other people? I think that's the question. Because it comes back to, I've made some sacrifices. I've made some decisions that I wouldn't have made if I were by myself, right? Like, if I were by myself, I would have gone to bed at 9 o'clock. If I were by myself, I probably, I definitely would not have ordered that poutine. If I were by myself, I wouldn't have gone to the winery. But again, it's not that these are bad things. I don't want to label them as like, oh, this is bad because I'm giving up myself. My device is too hot. I'll wrap this up. It's not bad that I'm giving up. I'm not doing things that I would normally do. Like, that's not bad. This is just life, right? But how much do you give up? I think is the question that I'm this is like I think this is tangential, because I think this is part of the first majority of this video was like, my observing myself in group dynamics, in a bigger group where I take the back seat. But tangential to this is like, how much of myself do I keep when I'm with other people? How much of, if I know that I operate best when I get 9 hours of sleep, when I eat this type of food, when I keep my routine, when I work in the morning, like whatever it is for you, how much of that do you keep? And how much of that do you sacrifice for the relationship or for the group experience? And I don't know that there's going to be an answer to that. If I take one extreme, it's like, let's take sleep as an example. I know that when I don't get enough sleep, I start to get groggy, start to get tired, I don't operate, I don't feel, my brain isn't operating as it should be. I maybe don't think the same, and so if I were to say, oh well, let's assume that 9 hours is how much sleep is ideal, and let's say I give up three. Well, we'll go extreme. I give up 4 hours, and I can only get 5 hours of sleep in order for me to be in a relationship or in the group dynamic or the vacation or whatever it is. As an extreme example, I don't know that I wouldn't be able to sustain that, because at some point the lack of sleep would lead to, I'm not, maybe I'm more stressed. Maybe I make more negative comments because I'm not feeling as good. I haven't, my mind isn't as clear. I'm making poor decisions. I'm making more mistakes. I'm maybe, reacting to frustration or anger, or emotions that I normally wouldn't react to. And so maybe in that situation, it's like, well, you're giving up too much of yourself for the relationship, and so you've lost what it means to be you and your best self. It was interesting. The mother of this newborn, we were talking about what it means to be a mom and how she's felt and her experience so far, and it's been really interesting to hear. And she made this observation that was like, she learned that, like, nowadays everything is about the baby. It's like the baby takes priority, but she also recognized that at some point she can't lose herself. Like, she needs to go. She was saying how she needs to go back to work, and she has her own goals and career, and like, she can't give up all of herself for the baby, because then she has nothing left. And I guess I made the connection that it's like, I guess it's a similar question. How much of yourself do you give up? So anyway, I'm dying in here. I'm gonna go back into the air conditioning. It's like a freezer in there. I'm just kidding. When it's 94 here, when it's 94.3 degrees, it feels like a freezer when it's 70 degrees in the air conditioning. So anyway, if you made it this far, thanks for listening. I thought that was really interesting thought and observation, and stuff like this is what I feel like is interesting to explore, because it's not like there's a right answer. Maybe there is. I don't know. If you have the answer, let me know, because I'm curious. But until then, or maybe not, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for listening.